Okay, folks, it's your buddy Mike Messier. I'm here outside the movie theater. It appears like I'm the only one who went to see a movie today, or whatever. I guess I really didn't see a lot of people here at the theater today, and I saw the movie Small Engine Repair. For those of you that are interested in the AEW Grand Slam thoughts, I'll have in just a moment. But first, I want to give this movie its due credit. Small Engine Repair was a good movie. It is a good movie. I just saw it. I enjoyed it. Um, I want to give you the neg first, the thing that I think could have been slightly improved, or what I kind of noticed in this movie that I was slightly, I don't know if disappointed is the word, it's a little strong, but in this movie, Small Engine Repair, I believe it's taking place in Portsmouth, New Hampshire, or New Hampshire, somewhere in New Hampshire. I thought it said Portsmouth. But everyone speaks, the main characters in this movie speak with a very distinct Boston fucking accent. And it's just really, unless you go to the south side of Boston, the Boston fucking accent, fuck. It's not that distinct. It's not that vulgar. You know what I mean? There's shades to the Boston fucking accent. But in my experience with going to New Hampshire quite a bit, it's much more of a, I don't know what to say, a normal place, like a normal society in New Hampshire, where people don't fucking talk like this, you fuck. You fuck. So I kept waiting for there to be some type of reveal in this movie that the characters were all imports from deep in Southie or some such thing. But that never happened. So whoever made this movie somehow thinks that people in New Hampshire who fucking watch the Sox talk just like the hardest of hardcore Boston people, which is not accurate, but it's typical of Hollywood. They try to make a fucking movie with Boston fucking people, and they have them sound like fucking clowns in traffic, and it's just not the way that it is. Okay, you fuck. So there you go. But anyway, I liked the movie. I really did. I enjoyed it thoroughly. It was a movie that I'm glad I got into the theater right as it was starting. I don't think I missed anything. Um, and I was kind of trapped in my seat because the movie had a very unusual non-linear approach, like kind of a linear approach, but with flashbacks and little sidebars thrown in through editing to move the narrative forward. So it's kind of like a small movie, but it kind of grows at times. For those of you who are kind of weak in the belly, there is some violence in this thing. It's not like a Saw. It's not like a Hostel. It's not like a, not even that movie, The Protege, I told you about that I liked a lot, or even what's the thing, the Don't Breathe 2, where these violent movies are coming out left and right. There is violence in this movie, but it is all earned, which I like. I like movies that have earned violence. You know what I mean? I've got some people chiming in. Good day. Uh, Give this a share. Thanks, buddy. Lazo's Pro Wrestling Fan Group. My buddy Lawrence is an actor. Did a nice movie. You're welcome to share the link to that movie because I enjoyed your film. And my buddy AJ, Cry Macho, I love Eastwood. Okay, buddy, I haven't seen it yet, so no spoilers for Christ's sakes, AJ. I haven't seen Cry Macho. You're gonna make Clint cry because he's right over there in the movie poster, but he's right over there. But I haven't seen it yet. It is on my hit list, buddy. But look, Clint's getting older, man. I mean, what the hell do you want? I mean, he's not going to have a steamy sex scene like he did with Meryl Streep in The Bridges of Madison County or whatever the fuck. I mean, good old Clint. I mean, the guy's like 99 years old. And he's still making films. So there you have it. But according this movie, I did enjoy. I did like the movie that I just saw, Small Engine Repair. I forgive it its sin of the horrible Boston accents. What's the themes of the movie? The themes of the movie are, what do you call it? Social media. I mean, there's a lot to say about this fucking Small Engine Repair movie, but basically, uh, this guy's kind of raising his daughter on his own, but he's got these two goofball friends. They're all kind of violent guys, and they're kind of like, if you remember the movie Three Men and a Baby, like if you put that movie plus 30 years and instead of the dashing Steve Guttenberg and Tom Selleck and Ted Danson, you had these Boston fucks who were trying to raise this little girl, and she gets into college, and then she gets into an adventure. And then there's dirty photos and all types of things. I enjoyed the movie, but I guess what everybody wants to talk about right now is the AEW. So I guess I'll wrap the fucking film review. The fucking film review. Tell you go see Small Engine Repair. My hat's off to the fucking filmmakers. And now let's talk some wrestling. Well, Adam makes a good point. So it's tonight from New York, AEW's Goldberg Hogan moment at the Georgia Dome. Oh God, we're going deep in the river already, Adam. So the reference Adam's making is to the 1998 summer of '98 match. Goldberg wins the WCW World Championship over Hulk Hogan on Free Nitro, on Monday Nitro, with a very short build-up. I think maybe on the previous Thunder it was announced. And so people were upset because the wrestling fans never say, oh, gee whiz, thanks Eric Bischoff, or thanks AEW, or thanks Hulk Hogan, or thanks Goldberg, who wrestles in my underwear, for giving us this free match on Free Nitro. The wrestling fans are always thinking, well, gee, why didn't you put that on pay-per-view? Which makes little to no sense, because if they put the match on pay-per-view, you'd have to pay for it, right? But the wrestling fan likes to think of him or herself as the booker, and that somehow they're going to profit from the proceeds of over the other marks. So for 30 years, we've been saying that this Goldberg Hogan match should have been on pay-per-view, blah, 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 but it wasn't. And so now we get to this, and people are saying, people like myself or Adam, the intelligent wrestling fans are pontificating, hey, how come Omega versus Danielson won? And it's actually their second match. Apparently they wrestled in PWG a decade or more ago. But how come these two guys, Bryan Danielson and Kenny Omega, are wrestling for free? Well, here's my thought. Ready? I don't think this match was necessarily going to be scheduled for this until this Arthur Ashe Stadium sold out however many seats, 15,000 seats. I did watch last night's NXT, AJ. Uh, and basically the AEW is rewarding the fans for selling out the arena. Like, instead of them announcing the match first, hey, we've got Danielson versus Omega, come to New York City and see it. The fans bought these tickets for this live show that they could just as easily stay home at the comfort of their own home. But the fans actually went out and bought the fucking tickets to the venue, right? So I feel like this is a reward from AEW to these New York City fans. Like, hey, look, you made this special by buying all these tickets. We're going to give you the reach around and make it special for you with this wonderful match. Now, here's the thing, folks. All you've got to do, if I was the booker, is to make this a 30-minute fucking time limit draw. Danielson gets him into the fucking gets him into the Cobra Clutch move, or whatever the fucking crossface, or whatever Brian calls it, the trash compactor, or the cattleman's herd, or whatever the fuck. People are always messaging me when I'm doing these goddamn things, and I'm trying to speak to you, but I can't, as people are instant messaging me. But basically, the point is, you just fucking ring that bell, 30-minute draw. You don't have to protect Omega. You don't have to pull the fucking Montreal screw job and have like Danielson about to beat him and the bell rings. I think it's a non-title match anyway. You could just have Daniel win, but as I think some other guys were pointing out, maybe Busted Open Radio or somebody, or whoever the fuck, fucking Meltzer and Alvarez, they just did the non-title thing with fucking Christian over Kenny Omega for that when they did the first Rampage, right? For the fucking whatever the fuck title, the fucking Impact Wrestling title. So you can't exactly repeat the same note for note feud. Geez, a lot of hate here, AJ, from Tom Brady, my buddy, my Rhode Island to Florida pal, Tom Brady, who followed me to Florida from New England. because winners always stick with winners, guys. So the point is, I don't know. I think it's fine that they're doing it. Not to argue with you, Adam, but buddy, I'm just telling you, it's a TV company. Like listen to Bischoff. They have to get those ratings. And if AEW is really making strides, maybe not to being the number one pro wrestling company in the world, but just doing their own thing and capturing the imagination of people. This Owen Hart Cup that I did a video on, this tonight, Arthur Ashe Stadium. I'm not sure if the Arthur Ashe Stadium is covered in case of rain. I have a feeling that it probably is because people in New York tend to be pretty intelligent. And the weather there is unpredictable, as it is in most places these fucking days. But I'm predicting it's a 30-minute draw. That's how I would book it. I don't know if they'll book it differently. I don't really watch MLW a ton. I'm not opposed to MLW, AJ. I'm not opposed to it. I mean, I've watched the Opera Cup and what's that guy, Court Buyer or whatever? They have a retractable roof. Hey, if somebody can quickly, Adam or AJ can quickly copy and paste the matches, I want to do a rundown. I do think the other things that are interesting for tonight, and remember, tonight's matches will probably get all spoiled because I'm sure some of these New York fucking fans will spoil it for us, and Meltzer will fucking sing a song about it. But they're having these matches tonight, and then Rampage has got more matches on Friday, but those will be pre-taped for tonight. And then shown on Friday. But the women's match, Ruby Soho, I think it's great. She's actually doing a lot better there in AEW than I predicted, that I thought she would do right away from the get, as they say. But my feeling is, I think it would be a shame if they had her win the title tonight. Oh boy, activity. I could see that happening. I could see there being a title change in the women's thing, and they just put the hot belt on the hot hand or the hot waist of Ruby Soho, and everybody has a good old party. I just think that would be a mistake because I think at some point, maybe Tony Khan doesn't see it this way. He just sees all these action figures as his now, so he doesn't matter which ones win. But I think there's going to be a core. You have enough AEW hardcore fans that are kind of territorial and pissy, and they don't want to feel like all their AEW wrestlers that they've invested the last 2 years in are going to just job out to all these WWE refugees. You know what I mean? It's like saying, "Oh yeah, come over on the fucking border from Mexico and let me give you my house and my wife." Well, actually, don't. You know what I mean? So, little wrestling match taking place in the parking lot over here. Someone's got someone in a headlock and they're like noogieing them. But the point is, just child's play, just kids fucking around. The point is, I think they should keep the title on Britt Baker at least for the night, and maybe have Britt Baker beat fucking Ruby Soho. Let her cheat. Kenny vs. Bryan. I'm predicting the time limit draw. Adam. They've got a whole bunch of matches for tonight. Interestingly, CM Punk will be having his first match on free AEW television will be taped tonight and shown on Friday against Powerhouse Hobbs. Big opportunity for Powerhouse Hobbs, getting the rub just by be there. Ring of Honor coming back into the mainstream. Please explain, AJ. They have a new TV network deal. I mean, it's interesting that Ring of Honor, which has kind of just floated around for 20 years, they're still in business, to give them credit. And at one point, they were the indie darling Hall of Fame club. These kids are very loud. I just don't understand it. I mean, now they're driving off with the door open. It's just very weird. Just, I don't understand why people would have children. Because if you spend 5 minutes with children, you're like, okay, your children are the reason why I'm pro-choice. You know what I mean? Anyway, Mikey, October 5th, Netflix, Escape the Undertaker with New Day. Buddy, I mean, that's fine. It's all well and good. I'm sure it'll be a chuckle and a fucking grin. But some of these, I'm not a big New Day guy, to be honest with you. I mean, I've got nothing against them. I probably like Kofi. The only one of New Day that I don't like is really Xavier Woods. I kind of like Big E and Kofi, but I feel that if Xavier Woods had been replaced by Titus O'Neil, I probably would have liked the three of them better. I had a New Day t-shirt for a while, so I was an early New Day fan. But the fucking trumpet and just Xavier Woods just thinks very highly of himself. And there was this little moment where Xavier Woods was listening to the Dave Bautista theme song and kind of emulating Dave Bautista when Bautista was about to go out to WrestleMania or something. And it just soured me on Xavier Woods, which in turn soured me on the New Day as entity. I'm sorry, but I just feel that way. As far as Big E being a world champion, fine, but he kind of already he's already learned on Monday Night Raw that Vince, Roman must spear. I mean, Roman must pin everybody. So Roman pinned, I believe, Xavier Woods, and Roman pinned Bobby Lashley, and so poor Big E must be feeling, well, my momentum is being castrated before I even get going. Um, hey, look, entertainment is great. It's escapism. As far as the Undertaker doing this thing with the New Day, that's all fine and good and dandy and shits and grins. Am I going to circulate my life around that? Probably not. Look, guys, I'm going to get you in on a little secret. You ready? You ready for a secret? And nobody, by the way, did what I asked, which was to copy and paste all the matches for me. But that's okay. I am probably going to watch this show tonight on tape delay, on mic time. I'm not going to revolve my evening around being in front of the TV or the computer at 8:00 to watch this Daniel Bryan Kenny Omega match. I believe the match is going on. Well, okay, AJ, I'm gonna have to address this, buddy. But look, I'm not going to revolve my evening around this Kenny Omega Grand Slam Omega thing. The evening that is going to revolve around my evening. Yes, MJF versus Pillman. You're going to have to go with MJF on that because he needs to get some heat back after losing to Jericho. So I'm going to go with MJF, but I think it'll be a nice kind of intro to Pillman as a singles guy. Thanks, man. Thanks, Adam. FTR versus Sting and Darby. I'm probably looking forward to that match a lot. Because I really am an FTR fan. I mean, I might get an FTR T-shirt at some point to prove my fanhood. I like the FTR, the fuck the revival or feel the revival. I'm going to go. I mean, you got to go with Sting and Darby because Darby's coming off a loss to Punk. I mean, maybe it could be a DQ. Let's say a DQ. Let's say FTR gets DQ because Tully interferes. Maybe they have a Tully versus Sting match. Wouldn't that be pleasant? Rhodes versus Malachi is an interesting one. I hate to go for another disqualification after I just predicted one, but you kind of feel like Cody needs a win here. I mean, he got embarrassed last time I was there at the homecoming show. Britt versus Ruby, I've already predicted. I'm hopefully predicting Britt to retain. I don't think they should trade the title to Ruby right now. I think they should save something. Like maybe AJ is suggesting, save something for the pay-per-views, guys. Is MJF a ripoff of The Miz, or is it the other way around? I don't think they're. To be honest, what about EC3? Ethan Carter III, who was punished by Vince McMahon in WWE because he was the nephew of Dixie Carter. So Vince obviously punished him. Is there any more matches there, Adam? Do you have any more for me, buddy? I think Cody will get the Rocky-style babyface comeback win against Black, like Rocky did he did Clubber Lang and Rocky 3. Good choice. I think, I'm going with you, Lawrence. I think that we're on the same page as far as our prediction. I do want to go back to this thing. I can't let this loaded gun here sit on the counter without pulling the trigger. Look, that whole thing that you're talking about, buddy, was AJ. That was just a Brutus Beefcake thing. And no offense to Brutus Beefcake. I like Brutus Beefcake. WrestleMania 2, he did a great job. But that's really unsubstantiated. Brutus Beefcake doing a shoot interview where he claimed that the Rockers were were drugging women and having their way with them. And I wasn't there. I don't know. But I got to think that if there had been a real accusation from an actual woman and not just another wrestler, then that would have been hit the courts by now, right? So we can't really put, no offense to Brutus Beefcake, but I'd be interested to hear what Marty Jannetty has to say. But I think Shawn has spoken to God because Shawn Michaels has God's cell phone number, as we know, and they've probably worked it out by now. Punk is supposed to open the show and cut a promo. Interesting. I thought it would be Omega and Danielson, but probably better if they have Punk. Even though did you hear when Tony Schiavone said this never gets old? Actually, it already has. Punk cutting promos to open the shows. I'm actually about to go see the movie, folks. Another movie, fucking Circle in the Shell, or some fucking Japanese movie from 1995, Shell in the Ocean or something. Rumors, John Moxley leaving, going back to as Dan Ambrose. I don't believe it, AJ. No offense, bro, but I feel like they've cut their ties. Ambrose or Moxley is having such a great time. Powerhouse Hobbs is AEW version of Big E. Well, you could say that they're all versions of Tony Atlas or Mark Henry. I mean, if we can't, but nobody says that, hey, Bryan Danielson is the 2021 version of Bruno Sammartino. You know what I mean? So we have to be careful with our stereotyping. But anyway, folks, subscribe to Mike Messier YouTube channel. Enjoy this show tonight. I haven't predicted every single match, but I think it will be a good show. Enjoy it, and I'll check in later. Goodbye. Subscribe to Mike Messier YouTube channel.
It's probably right there.